Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Unique, and you're watching TrueExclusives.
Put in time, been writing songs from the beginning. 2006, Brooklyn, I gave you the business. We were so young, like 106 Park, no kidding. That still feel like yesterday. Need your body out here like yesterday.
I grew up in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Puerto Rican household, and I grew up in the projects. Project kid with big dreams. I've always sang since I was a little kid. I would say before I was even 5 years old. Growing up in Brooklyn, you got to know what you want. I think growing up in New York, we are naturally go-getters, we're hustlers. We're constantly trying to find ways to elevate ourselves and to tap into what we love, you know? Like I said, music has always been my thing, and it's what has, I guess, guided me and helped me survive growing up in Brooklyn, because I didn't grow up in a white picket fence neighborhood, you know? Music kept me out of trouble. You know, growing up in New York, again, the Apollo Theater is something that we watch. I remember being a little kid waiting until, what time did it come on? Maybe 1 o'clock in the morning? And like trying to keep my eyes open just to see the kid stars go and give it what they got, you know? So the Apollo was something that I've always wanted to do. I think as an artist or entertainer, is a stage you have to touch. And I was in high school when I did the Apollo, performing in my space and building a name for myself within the community, but I'd never been on TV before. So the Apollo was that. And all my friends in school encouraged me, like, bro, you need to go on Apollo. Nah, you be killing it. Apollo would be great. And it was, looking back at it today. So I did the Apollo. I sang Usher, You Got It Bad. I think at the time Monique was the host. And I told all my friends in school, yo, y'all gotta tune in, I'm doing the Apollo. Everyone knows. I do the Apollo and I start the song, and we're, I think, halfway mid through You Got It Bad. And one of the keys changed. I've never performed with a live band prior to that as well. So it was a whole new experience for me. And it was one note that went bad, and I heard womp, 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 womp. And I don't know, if you ever get into a fight, it happens so quick that you don't even realize what's happening. But when I saw that motherfucker come with his shoes, I was crushed. You know, but thinking about some of the favorite artists that I have looked up to, everyone's had that moment. Lauryn Hill, Destiny's Child, Christina Aguilera, you name it. So, you know, I cried my eyes out. My mom was right by the stage. And I remember as soon as I got off the stage, there was a cameraman there. So I had no time to digest what happened. There was a cameraman there with the guy from Kid and Play, and he was like, how do you feel? And me being professional, I guess, or being young and hurt, I said, it's okay, they'll see me somewhere else. And I believed that. So I had a few months, the Apollo didn't air until a few months after, you know how TV goes. So I got to heal on my own, but then the shit went live. So I have to go back to school. If you're from New York, you already know. Nobody's saying, okay, pal. They like, nah, you wash, fuck out of here, womp, womp. And I remember walking through the street, like I said, I was building a name for myself, MySpace popping, performing all over, opening for artists like Chris Brown and these other people. But I had to still walk through the hood, the projects I was from, and hear people from their windows saying, womp, 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 womp. You know what I mean? So it definitely gave me tough skin, but it did something to me on the inside that said, nah, this is not how it's going down. I gotta keep going. Even, you know, however it's gonna go, I gotta continue.
Your body's a problem, more beautiful than a diamond. Your skin is so smooth, you got me slipping and sliding. I can't control the feelings, I get excited for you. So what you wanna do, girl?
I had I believe, did a show opening up for Tyrese and Trey Songz. I think Bow Wow was a part of it. And Aaron Reid, who's L.A. Reid's son, happened to be following me and came to the show. And he said, bro, you want to hang out after? And it was me and a few other producers, and it was a small group, but we ended up going to the Def Jam offices at like 10 o'clock at night. And we were just chilling. I had no plan on anything happening. It was just like, thank you for coming to support me. And fuck it, let's chill. We're all young and we're all trying to pursue our dreams. Long story short, we chilled for a little while, and then while we're in this office, L.A. Reid walks in the room, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, what do I do? He's here, I'm here. Is this a sign from God? I can't not let this pass and not say nothing, because I already told you, you're gonna see me again. So I said, all right, Unique, just fill it out. So we get into the elevator, and they're on their way down, and L.A. Reid kind of, I could see he was like, who's that? So I think I told him, at that time I had MySpace flyers that I had created. And I said, have you heard my music yet? The elevator got silent. Like, who the fuck do you think you are to just start the conversation? And that's just what we here for. You know what I'm saying? So I gave him my flyer and I told him to check me out. And I remember the response from the other people. They were like, nah, that wasn't a good move. You shouldn't have did that, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I've always been a person to trust my intuition. And I felt like, what do I have to lose? I'm already getting womped out the fucking window. I've been singing since I was this age. And here's an opportunity. Why wouldn't I say something? So maybe it was 12 o'clock. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call. 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was L.A. Reid thinks he's a fucking star. He respected me for having enough to say something. You know, if you're not rooting for yourself, then who is? So shortly after that, it was phone call after phone call, and I had been working with other, I was actually in the middle of signing with Rodney Jerkins. So it was just like a weird time, but I ended up going, getting a deal with Def Jam, my first record deal. No one in my family is in the music industry, so something totally new for me. Straight out of high school, probably 16 and a half, 17. And I got signed, and that process was something that I learned from. You know, I think it was a great experience, maybe the wrong time. And knowing how I am, I'm not a kid. Then I was, so I was probably down for whatever. But part of me being unique, not only is it my name, like that's my birth name, it's in my DNA. I found that being an artist on a label, when you see what the backside of, in back of the curtain, is so much more. I don't want to be controlled on how the fuck I wear my shirt. I'm in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? Or people telling me, you're an urban artist, so you should be making birthday sex. Or it just felt like there was so many strings. And at the end of the day, like I told you, music is what I love, it's what I do. Granted, I know a record deal could help me reach the world, but if I have to be a puppet on a string to do that, then keep the shit. You know, when you're on a label where Mariah Carey and Rihanna and these artists are on there, they're more important than you. That's just what it is, it's business. And I didn't understand that at that time. It was personal to me. But like I said, I learned, I met so many people, and I gained a lot of experience, but these days, I'd rather pay for my own video so I could say where the light goes. Or I'm gonna wear pink because that's what the fuck I felt like. Yeah, so I got out of my Def Jam deal, and I had been working on music that was never released, but that, God be working, man. I was working with Little Eddie, and Little Eddie is also a dope artist, writer from New York. He's Puerto Rican too. And we have been working for some time and creating great records. Also Claude Kelly. And an opportunity came for me to do a project in Japan. I'm like, whoa, how is that gonna work? I don't know, but I'm down. So some of those songs that I had been working on, I had changed up a bit and then recorded more for the market because it was a whole different opportunity. It wasn't about being urban. I was a pop star releasing From Brooklyn to You in Japan. So I released the album. It went #1. The single that I wrote called Wherever You Are featuring Charisse. It was #1 on the Japanese iTunes charts for 4 weeks straight. I went there and I toured to Osaka, Nagoya, Shibuya. I even had an in-store signing that doesn't even exist right now, you know? So, and those are the things that I grew up. I was the kid online waiting to see Beyonce, waiting to meet Brandy, waiting to meet those people, and I got to get that overseas, I guess. Rodney Jerkins has been someone that I've respected since a kid. Again, going back to the people that inspired me with the Brandys and Destiny's Child and all the dope R&B artists from the 90s. He was definitely somebody on my list that I knew I wanted to work with. And there was some award show in the city in Times Square, and I saw Rodney. I had my demo CD in my pocket and a flyer, and I walked up to him. I tell you, when I was 16, 17, I was so bold. I walked up to him and I said, yo, I'm the hottest shit coming out of New York. You need to know about me. And he was like, word? He was like, so Jay don't know about you yet? I said, I'm telling you first. So that was a conversation that was really brief. I gave him my demo and my flyer again. And I didn't hear anything for like a week or two. I was sitting by the phone like, damn, I wonder if he ever heard it. Did he ever call? The long story short, he had been traveling and misplaced it. But he knew that what he heard and what he saw was he wanted to work with me. So he got in contact with me weeks later after I kind of like tried to let it go. And he was like, I think you're a star. And I want to work with you. So I remember going to Philippe Chow in the city with my mom and Rodney, and we sat down, and my manager at the time, and I told him what my goals were and the kind of music I wanted to make and how much I respected him. And shortly after that, we started to work. But LaShawn Daniels was, God bless him, you know, he was the guy in the studio with me. I had a more personal connection with him. Rodney maybe have done the tracks and sent them over, but LaShawn, vocal king, you know what I mean? And I remember speaking to Claude Kelly, and he was someone that had been helping me and writing with me and helping develop my craft before a record deal, before anything. And he told me, listen, LaShawn knows his thing. Just go in there, give it what you got the voice, you got the talent, just pay attention to what he says and he won't steer you in the wrong way. So I remember going to work with LaShawn and being in Rodney Jerkins' studio and seeing all the plaques on the wall from all the artists that I admire and feeling like, wow, here you go again, Unique.
If you fuck with me, it be like every day's a Friday. Roll some trees, just shoot with me and kick it over my plate. Like you when it's nice and slow, I take care of your body. Tell him that you're gone, cause he ain't that nigga.
So I just released Friday, my latest single produced by Junie Mag, and I recorded it actually during quarantine. This is my 4th independent release on my own, and it kind of was feeling like in quarantine, like every day was a Friday. Like, who knows? Like, what time is it? And, you know, I think all of us, if we're honest, have felt heavy during this quarantine, not being able to connect. not being able to hug the people that you love. And like I said, it became a blur of every day's a Friday. But bigger than that, I feel like if you're truly tapped into who you are and you live for the simple things, every day can be Friday. And that's what I meant by every day's a Friday. That it doesn't matter who I'm with or where I'm at. If it's real, we could kick it and chill. And that's what I'm about, you know? But bigger than music and bigger than my aspirations, I had never lost anyone in my life that was close to me. So I never knew what that feeling was. And, you know, speaking to you, I forget what year, 2009 maybe, I lost my aunt to cancer. And that took me out. I needed a break from the go of things. It made life so much real. It wasn't about my the idols and the people that I admired. This is my aunt. I was just with her. And life happens, you know? So I definitely had to take time to heal, pray a lot, and realize what's important in life. You know, and then shortly after that, I lost my brother, my baby brother, to gun violence. So I feel like on top of trying to pursue a career, I'm dealing with real life shit that we all going through. Back to the Black Lives Matter. I get it. I feel it. My brother was one of those hashtags. And the only way I can keep sane and continue to be positive is if I do what I love, and that's music. If I continue to tap into that little kid, you know, my brother looked up to me and he was one of my biggest fans. So thinking of him and knowing that he's watching me, I hope nobody got time to be fucking depressed. He's like, bro, show him what you got. And yeah, just being with family, knowing what's real, not getting caught up. I live in LA. It's Hollywood, right? But it don't mean nothing if you don't mean nothing to you. If you're not true to who you are, if you're doing whatever you're doing for somebody else, throw your shit in the ocean. Because you'll never be enough for someone. You'll never please everyone. So you gotta be good with you. And that's what even the way I deal with things is to create, you know. Home is right here, 2B. That's my grandma's apartment, where I was raised. But it also means to be positive, to believe, to stay inspired, and to continue going, you know? I got believe right here, because we all need that. I want to continue to show the world what I'm capable of, whether it be through music, directing my own videos, designing my clothes, children down the line, and just to continue to be healthy, continue to be happy, continue to inspire, you know. I owe it to myself, I owe it to my brother, I owe it to my titi Lisa to continue making them proud, or at least trying. Yeah, who knows? Who knows where God will take me? I might move to Puerto Rico. But I'm open, and I'm grateful for everything that I've experienced so far, and I know it could only get better from here.
Girl, you're the one for me. Girl, you're the one for me. Baby, got what you need. Baby, got what you need. I tell you to walk away. Tell you to walk away. I tell you to walk away. I tell you to walk away.
just doing a little video if you don't mind. If you want to be in the video, I would take it.